all those people coming together, having people from Limp Bizkit and Slipknot on one song, and then have my dad, who's a part of an iconic hip hop group, on one song, and me carrying the legacy. Is like, bro, it was like a super song.
It really sounded like it worked, like it was natural
It
for you
did. It's
almost,
crazy.
you know?
It worked. It's two people being themselves. How you doing?
Going good, man. How about you?
I'm doing great. Been a cool morning. Been a chill morning.
Yeah, so maybe talk to us about it, man. Vomit Face Records.
Mm.
Sid Wilson of Slipknot involved. We got yourself involved. It's a very eclectic mix of different influences here at the label to start with. Maybe if you could speak on that mix of different artistry and how it all came together.
Okay, so like basically I really been into like a diverse like portfolio of music. Like I love like my pops created horrorcore. So they're like the same genre that people like um Eminem rap, even like with Juice WRLD to Lil Uzi, all those artists that it all falls in the category of like a certain like feeling the music. Cause like Mind Playing Tricks on Me was like the first song to speak on mental health. And then my dad was a Chucky, he brought horrorcore. So it's like basically with both emotion and then expressing yourself in like on obscene and like real like far-fetched lyrics, but it's really like all expression as a whole. So it's like I grew up around a certain type of music and genre where it was like wasn't really like a confined thing. It's like just express yourself. It wasn't like confined to a box. So like working with Sid was just like second nature because I always just love music. So it just shows I'm a diverse person. Like my portfolio doesn't limit me to just hip hop. It's like I just love music.
That makes a lot of sense too, because I mean, when you look at a band like Slipknot, that's very similar to what you're talking about with the horrorcore rap. Do you feel like there's a
Mhm.
lot of similarities between the metal world and the hip hop world in that way?
Definitely, and I would say just hip hop, but I would say more so horrorcore because, like, with that lane in general, my dad made his own genre, and then that genre literally helped a lot of artists, just like I say, find their niche, find their area, because it's like this where their influences came from. Because no artists was speaking on Chucky or mentioning Chucky until like my dad and the Geto Boys and stuff like that with their lyrics.
Exactly. Now, how would you describe that influence, in terms of the way it's affected you and the people that you've met? I mean, what's the most common thing that other rappers will tell you about your pops that maybe resonates with you that you really were moved by?
Really is intelligence. Like my pops was a very well
Mm.
spoken, intelligent person. So like he know how to express himself in ways that people couldn't really express themselves. And he's very authentic. And he's like a very it factor. If you look at the Ghetto Boys, both of the members was just regular sized people. My dad was short of stature. He was the only person to ever be of his size to do what he did. He was the smallest person, but he was the biggest man. So it's just like
Yeah.
he always had his voice stood bigger than what people can see, the eye can see. But he showed it like no matter what you look like, where you come from, you can do anything you want to do. Just be yourself and be authentic. So like that always resonated with me because I always been myself. So it's just like seeing him break boundaries the way he did. It's like I have no excuse at all not to be great.
Is that a big burden to carry on your shoulders in a way, that the family name and the family legacy, or is it something that you don't really think about and you just focus on your artistry? I mean, it has to be something that you've thought about at some point.
I really just focus on my artistry because before I had like I went by Young No at first. Like I made a whole lane like without even using my legacy name. It's like once my pops passed, it was like, all right, I'm gonna carry on my dad's name and carry on the legacy because I'm his only son. I have nothing but sisters. So it's just like would it just hold on a second. Hold on. All right. Yeah. Would it just being me as a you can see me, you can hear me?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with me just being the only son and then having sisters, it was like, okay, everything falls on me. This is all about me. Like when it comes to Texas carrying my legacy. But it's just like I just knew that it fit me. I never had pressure because music came second nature. It's like the way I express myself was through music. That's the best way for me to find like how to say how I feel. Cause I started making poetry when I was younger. And I'm from poetry to actually writing songs. So just like I've always been into just expressing through music. It's like my tunnel, like my way, my lane.
Now, when you started writing music, was that very much influenced by your dad, or was that sort of an influence that was separate?
It was just separate. It's like it's crazy because it's like the same thing he do to express himself. Like he was a big graffiti artist in New York before he was ever like before he ever came to Texas and got signed. He was a big graffiti artist. He used to be on the subway trains and be on top of the subways with his friends and signing graffiti in different places and stuff like that. So it's like his form and medium of expression was always art. He never wanted to be a rapper. He just happened to love music and then he ended up finding different groups of people and coming across them. They like, hey man, you should rap, but before he even was a rapper in the Ghetto Boys, he was a hype man, an MC. He's just a person that gets the crowd lit, you know what I'm saying, and make sure everybody getting like hyped and stuff before the shows even start. And then they went from that to being a hype man and an MC to and a breakdancer to actually being an actual rapper.
Okay. So it
So
just sort of
it just
happened
trend.
naturally.
It happened naturally. He told me like I never to be a rapper. He's like that just happened. They was like, hey, like at one point in time with the Ghetto Boys, two members had left. So all you had left was my dad, hype man, and you had a DJ. And so then that was before Scarface would join because the Ghetto Boys used to be Getto Boys, and then it became Geto Boys when it came like with Def Jam and Rick Rubin when he started working with them and stuff like that. But he was one of the original members of the original Ghetto Boys. So it's like once these members left, now you don't have a whole artists and rappers. And so then Jay ended up getting Scarface and we need to be the artists and rappers. But then it's like, okay, we need one more person to rap. And Jay Prince convinced my dad to start making like music and rapping, but he never was a rapper.
Wow. I think it's really cool that you know the whole history like this, though. I mean, it's obviously something that you're very proud of and you've done your homework. I mean, would you agree about that?
Yeah, I already know my dad. Like he made sure one thing about it, he made sure I already knew him. Especially before he
Yeah.
passed, he made sure I understand him, understood how he felt, his perspective on life, what he did in the boundaries he had to break to become who he was. It's like before he was Bushwick Bill, he was not seemed as oh this big artist and this and that. He was seen a person that was short of stature, that wasn't regular size like all his other friends and people that was around him, and he was just making his own lane as an individual. And then when it came to his music, now it's like you're a star, you're a celebrity, you getting all this love. But before that, it wasn't that. So it's just like he knew what he was and how the world treated him beforehand, but then he also accepted what it was when he became who he was, and he understand the it factor of like being a celebrity. Like people will love you for this thing, but I know at the end of the day how it was before I was famous. So it's just like I had to really get my dad, and it's like I'm just happy I actually got to know him, like I say, the way I did before he passed.
Yeah, no, man, that's a big thing, and I think it shows. Now, hopping back over to your release,
Uh,
obviously we mentioned that it's going to be on Vomit Face Records, the brand new record label by Slipknot's Sid Wilson. How exactly did you meet Sid, and how did that come about from meeting him?
so it's a person named Dom from this store called Brooklyn Projects in LA. Dom used to style Slipknot back in the 90s, and he's from Brooklyn. Also, my dad's from Brooklyn. So my dad and being in LA, he'd always be with Dom. Dom was like that median. Dom introduced my dad and stood to each other. And before my dad passed, I mean, he was always telling Sid, like, hey man, let's get in the studio, let's get in the studio. But around the same time, Sid had a dog that had cancer that was sick. And then Sid also didn't know my dad was actually kind of sick around that time as well. So like he had so much going on. He didn't even know that that was happening. And then out of nowhere, my dad ended up passing. And it's like he had this certain like it was just like a burden on him to feel like, man, like he kept wanting to work, kept wanting to do the album, kept wanting to do this. He always mentioned, let's go to studio, let's go to studio. But then he had his own personal matters going on with his dog. And
Right.
so it's just like once my dad passed, his manager at the time he sent out stuff to people to make memorial videos for his memorial because he didn't get buried, he got cremated. So it was a videos at his funeral, a different like artists like Corrupt, the person from Digital Underground and different artists and people that really like knew my dad. It was a memorial video I was watching. And then when I seen Sid had a memorial video, and it's just like when I watched his, it's like he really had full emotion. He really felt regret. Like, man, like I wish like it's just like I could just feel, you could feel a person really that's authentic and feel that like, man, he really wanted to make this happen and he didn't know. And it's just like it's carrying on him. And as I watched that video, I was like, man, bro, I'm gonna make this happen for him. Like I had some unreleased music from my dad that I had to myself, and I just like, I'm gonna make that happen for him to have like work with my dad. And
Wow.
so I used to be in Austin a lot, and Slipknot did a lot of shows in Austin. And like I say, my dad manager at the time, he invited me. We all went and like linked up with Sid and all them and Corey all them backstage at the Slipknot show. And me and Sid started to just lock in from there. Once we crossed paths and just like start being around each other, it's like became a mentor and an uncle to me. It's like we just fit being like each other. It's like I don't know. It just like always made sense, and then it's just built from there to where 5 years of us knowing each other plus, and he's just always been an influence and a mentor to me, and has helped me guide me. And then he's saying like, man, you're a great artist. He saw my potential as an artist, like, man, you really talented. And so it came from that to where me coming in to relieve that burden of how he was feeling, what he was going through, and also him feeling a section in my life where I needed somebody, a mentor and guidance, and somebody that has done successful things that can guide me as a young man dealing with what I was dealing with in life to help me become who I am right now.
Wow. So it's deeper than just the music then.
It's
There's
way
layers
deeper
to
than
this
music. Like
connection.
he really is an uncle to me. Really is family to me. Like besides anything dealing with music, he really helped me in life in general.
Wow. That's huge, man. And I understand too that he has a really extensive knowledge of music, all different types as well.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know. Like he loves and loves metal music, and loves like rock music. But at the end of the day, Sid is a DJ. DJs know all variations and genres of music because in the day they're not just DJing one town when he goes in every different place to do different things. Because you have to remember his alias DJ Starscream.
Right.
So it's like
Exactly.
he literally would go travel to Japan, travel here, travel to different places, and playing all types of music. But he really loves music in itself. He's a real hip hop head, real music head in general.
Yeah. No, it's so cool. And again, you really hear that on this new track that you guys dropped. So, when you were approaching this song on this instrumental, which is so unique with all these different influences, how is that affecting your approach, when it comes to the actual rap? Is it different or is it the same but just with a twist?
It's cool because making that project it really pushed me sonically. Like I was in Iowa working with Sid for 7 days. We made that project like basically when we made that project it was 7 days straight. He had just like moved when he was in Iowa and I came out there from Houston. I locked in with him for 7 days. He made the studio from scratch. He was just building everything, moving into the crib. And I was like the second person recording it. He went and said something on the mic and then I recorded on the mic. And for 7 days straight I locked in and made that project. And each day he made me a beat and each day at the end of each day, I would go and finish that beat, and it was like say nothing that I've ever heard before, and it just like pushed me sonically to where it's like man, you can do whatever you do if you put your mind to it. Just be yourself, how you approach it, and that's how I approached every track and every production he made. I just like added myself to it. He added his things that made him on it, and I just added, okay, this is me. I didn't try to like conform who I am and be like, oh, let me make some stuff like Slipknot. Let me try to make some stuff like it's like, bro, I'm bringing Lil Bushwick to the table. I'm not gonna bring nobody else. It's all I know is me.
Do you feel like it really expanded you as an artist in terms of like what you're capable of writing and just the way that you hear the beats as well? Because again, you said it really pushed
Definitely,
you.
definitely, definitely. Like I've never made music on anything like it. Like I've never made music with sounds like that, like the switch ups, the scratches, the way that he bended sounds and the way he hears sounds is like very interesting to me because it's like I say, it pushed the envelope of me as an artist and it made me a better artist making that project.
Yeah, I mean, but the funny thing is that it really sounded like it worked, like it was natural
It
for you
did. It's
almost,
crazy. It worked. It worked because like it's two people being themselves, and that's why I work. Like Sid's a very authentic individual, very humble, very like a person who's grounded, and so it's just like we have the same type of energy. That's why I told you when we first like really just locked in, it just clicked from there because we have the same mindset. We both look at the people that we care for. We both are generous people. We both are grounded people. So it's like. It's the same two people, even though I'm living from Houston and he's from the UK and then been raised in Iowa and stuff like that. It's like my family from Jamaica and coming to America, and it's just like we both have different backgrounds. It's low key similar, but it's just like it's different countries. But we both have families and everything's and coming from different areas and different sides of the world, but all coming to the States and making history.
Yeah, no, it's like a melting pot, just all coming together.
Crazy.
Now, it is. Now, you mentioned the unreleased vocals from your dad and obviously mixing that into the track. Was this the
Mm.
first time that you had your vocals on the track with your dad's vocals?
Oh yes, because before my dad passed, about 7 months before he passed, we recorded some music. But then
Okay.
these songs, DJ Lethal from Limp Bizkit, he had recorded with my dad, knew my dad for a long time. And the verse that's on that track is really a song that's from 13 years ago. Like DJ Lethal did like 4 tracks with my dad, and that was one of the 4 tracks he did. And like I said, that was something he had in the vault. And then it came full circle to where like I've already been like locked in with Lethal before, like at a certain point before I had to flew to LA to link with him again with Sid and record on those vocals. So it's like we already know each other. And then like I say, with Sid knowing my dad and Lethal knowing my dad, it just all worked out to where we all got in the studio. He's like, look, I need your verses on these. We gonna make this is gonna be crazy. And I'm hearing them sounds. I'm like, man, bro, I get to work with my dad again. And it's actually full songs. But like I say, and it's like Lethal
Wow.
recorded all that and produced the track, and then Sid added his production to it, and also another person that produced on it with Lethal was C-Lance. So it was like all those people coming together, having people from Limp Bizkit and Slipknot on one song, and then have my dad, who's a part of an iconic hip hop group, on one song, and me carrying the legacy. Is like, bro, it was like a super song. Like it was like a
Yeah.
supernova of influences and people and great people on one track and made history. That song is really a historical song.
Now, you mentioned that there's a couple of the tracks that were recorded that are left over with your dad. Are there many, many tracks that are recorded that people haven't heard yet? Like, how many tracks would
Yeah,
you
it's some
assume
stuff
there
that people
are?
haven't heard of me,
Yeah,
of my dad, and of me and my dad. It's like those that come out like later on. It's cause like I say, my pops ain't here to record no more. So it's like I don't want to just throw all the music on one project or throw all the music on and just release everything, because in the day he's not here to make another song. So it's just
right.
like right now, I'm just making sure that I pace things out. And also Lethal telling me them tracks he had. I remember Lethal sent me some stuff. He's like, yeah, these some tracks to your pops. So I want you to have these. And then this was some outside of those tracks too as well. So it's like I say, this all came full circle to where I get to work with my dad again. And then it's so dope because I'm like, his love for music, like he loved, like I said, he loved music. He didn't perform with Deftones. He didn't perform with a lot of legendary people, Jelly Roll, all these people. And it's like for me to do this, it's like really history. Like I say, because I knew he'd be like, bro, that's crazy, my son killing it. Because this is something that he would have loved to do.
Man,
Because like I
that
say, he
that
already
is
worked
so
with
cool.
Lethal. He already worked with him already. So he already knew him. He already knew these people, crossed paths these people. So it's like for me in my generation to do this now, it's just history. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and it's continuing the legacy, right? Like it's almost as if you probably would have crossed paths with these guys either way, regardless of how life would have turned out. It seems like just the natural progression, so you're continuing that on yourself.
Yes, sir. This facts. It's just like it's just meant to be. That's how I look at everything. It's like everything gonna be what it's supposed to be. And my dad told me like people gonna support you and people gonna rock with you. Just be yourself. And I'm like, I told him like, pops, I'm always myself. So like, that's nothing. It's like I don't try to be something I'm not. It's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to keep. If you go run with a lie, you gotta keep with that lie. Gotta stay with that lie. It's like this is who I am. This is like you accept it or not, but this is who I am.
That's it. We're keeping it 100%. Now, where do you hope to take things in 2026? Obviously, a brand new year coming up. There's a lot of firsts here right now with the first, single on the new label. What do
Mhm.
you hope to see happening next year?
Just keep expanding the horizon, keep expanding my music sonically, just keep going against the grain, pushing boundaries, creating our own lanes, our own genres, helping people know that like you can be yourself. You don't have to conform to what you hear right now. You don't have to like be like this artist. You can literally take certain influences of certain things and like I say, make that melting pot of things and make it a unique sound. So it's like this doing this project and me and Sid working and being on Vomit Face is really like showing that bro, you can do whatever you want. If you put your mind to it, and if you really an artist, you're gonna create. You know what I'm saying? Artists make from different sounds from anything. It's like so you're gonna always just be yourself and you're gonna go somewhere. Just find your path, find your niche, find your lane, and you're gonna prosper. Because like you gotta think, my dad didn't have rock albums and this and that. Before he passed, he wanted to make rock albums and metal albums before he passed. He made different like he made all types of genres of music, but it's like he never really got to do all the things he wanted to do. So me doing this is like for myself as well, but also doing it for my dad to be able to do something that he didn't get to do.
Yeah. Did your dad ever talk about some of the hip hop beefs that were happening at that time?
Not really, because he was friends with everybody. He was friends with Eazy-E.
Right.
He was friends with Tupac. He knew Biggie because my pop's from Brooklyn. He grew up in New York at a certain point in his life. And like all these people were not far from him. He knew all these people. He knew all the greats. But he would tell me stories of just like him and Tupac talking about God and the Bible because like Tupac was very intelligent. So they would have very deep intellectual conversations about God. And then he'd tell me how like just like how he met Michael Jackson on the way to Japan one time, a Ghetto Boys show on the way to Japan, they crossed paths in the airport, and another person of the group named Big Mike, he was like, "Yeah, bro, your dad is walked up to Michael Jackson like nothing, like he just was him." Like I said, my pops was so him, he didn't look at somebody like, "Oh my gosh, it's this person, let me not talk to them." Like he really just walked in the room and be himself, and no matter who you were, he came to you human to human, not star to star.
That makes sense what you said, though, is that he was good with everybody. And there seemed to be a couple people who managed to do that, and he was one of them, which is,
He was one
I
of
think,
those people
speaks
that
to who he was, you know?
Definitely, definitely. I seen it every time I was with him. I seen it. Like people just took to him. And like the thing about it, I was like, man, not a lot of people like okay, so when I did my really history and just knowing certain things, Tupac's favorite rap group was the Ghetto Boys. And
Right.
so somebody to be the greatest rapper of all time, they consider as a top five greatest rapper of all time, and his influences be my dad and his group because he was famous before them. Ghetto Boys came out in 1988, like February. NWA came out September 1988. When they so basically like Ghetto Boys created gangster rap, created gangster music. So it's like to see that they influence somebody that we love. Like I love Tupac music and stuff, and they were actually friends. It's like it's only a certain small group of people like my dad who was on the Chronic album, who was cool with Dr. Dre, who was cool with Snoop Dogg, who was cool with Biggie, Eminem, Kendrick Lamar before he passed. He knew all these people, and so it's like all these great artists. They were all influenced in some form of fashion by my dad. And from have relationships with all these people, just be like you had to be a great person. You had to be a person with some type of influence, some type of power, or a unique individual to cross paths with all these great individuals.
Have you ever crossed paths with like the sons of some of these other guys that you're mentioning?
Yeah, yeah, all the Sons of Legends, like Busy Bone Sons, because my godfather's Flesh and Bone. My dad's real close to Bone Thugs and
Okay.
Harmony. So like I know all the people in Bone Thugs and Harmony. Pimp C son, me and him got music. Young Pimp, we cool. A lot of legendary sons like J1, Jada Kid's son, we cool because of mutual, because one of my homies, his cousin. Like it just like a lot of Sons of Legends I know. I'm like I know all of them, but I know a lot of them from the South or like from New York.
Very
Like
cool.
we
So
cool.
everybody kind of crosses paths at some point.
At some point,
Yeah.
because a lot of people here in Houston, a lot of us, a lot of the Houston rappers, sons, legends, they live out here. So like, I'm really known in
Right.
Houston. I know a lot of people. I network a lot. So it's like I've been on the music scene from underground shows all the way to mainstream shows. So like, I didn't cross paths with Sons of Legends. I done met people like Kodak Black, Lil Uzi, Juice World. I done met everybody. Even my dad was alive. DMX, like Snoop Dogg when he had shows out here, DJing under DJ Superdelic. I met him and like I've crossed paths with everybody. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, man. Well connected. Well, you're definitely doing your thing, dude. And I appreciate you making some time to stop by. The music is great. And we're going to
Thank
send
you.
everybody to go and check out the brand new singles down below in the description on
Appreciate
Vomit
you.
Face Records. And thank you so much, man, for stopping by. If you like the content you've been seeing on this channel, make sure to become a member for early access, exclusive videos, and much, much more. It's a great way to support the channel for just $5 a month. Hit the description link down below. Go and check it out.